So welcome everyone once again to Outdoor Analytics. This is part 2 of the 2018 Ritual Bow Review, which is a bow that we're doing in the series for our series of the 2018 flagship bows. Now in the last part of the review, the first part of the review, I spoke some about the option last year's Elites bow, kind of the differences in between the two bows. What I thought about this bow overall with the initial appearance of the bow, and in this review, part of the review I'll go into a little more detail on speed, specs, what I see and feel. Now on the first part of the bow review I spoke to the overall fit and finish of this bow, which is excellent, beyond excellent. It is a standard by which I think most other bow companies should judge themselves, or a standard they should set for themselves. As you can see here close up, here's the Elite graphics for 2018 on the limbs. They're subtle but very nicely done. The camo pattern on the bow here, you can see, is a color fusion pattern, meaning it's baked on, and it is done exceptionally well. If you look inside the bridging, both top and bottom on this bow, look on the riser, the details, the way they apply it, it's just overall very, very well applied finish. The small things such as the emblem inside here, they match that very well with the coloration, the camo color of the bow, and even the side plates here, the way they're put in, the way they feel, the Elite logo etched in them, just overall very well done. So the bow looks like an Elite, meaning it looks exceptionally well, and it draws like the Elites of the past, with the caveat being it's a little stiffer than your Answer and your Hunter and some of those bows, maybe a little bit more than the E35 and the E series, but about on par with them. The efficiencies, that's one of, besides just the overall really well built bow, this bow is touted as having extremely high efficiency. I stated in the last bow review, I think that it does have high efficiency, but I will stop short of saying it has the highest efficiency, or one of the highest efficiencies ever found in a bow. So really quick, like this bow is right at 70.4 pounds and 29 inches on the nose, on a draw board, as it came from the factory, which when you can get specs that are right as we want them, right as they're bought, meaning you buy 2970 and it comes out 2970, that is saying something. And Elite, I give them kudos for doing that. That's very nice. So I'll do the draw cycle just real briefly. I have a Carbon Express Maxima SD arrow, very good arrow. I intend to do a review on these arrows. They are very forgiving and very nice arrows. So anyway, this particular arrow weighs 457 grains. The way it sits right here, I'll draw this bow, kind of talk about the draw as it feels in the back wall, let it down and draw it again. So here we go on the draw. So as you can see here, let me see, make sure I can see it. It draws very nice for a 70-pound bow. There's a little bit, especially that first time you grab and draw it, if you've had it set down for any amount of time, a little bit of that when the cams kick over, that tiny little hump and dump, but very, very little, and that kind of comes with having such high let off. So as you can see, it's a very easy bow to draw. Very, very solid back wall. Those limb stops means you're not going to get any more solid. So here I'll let it down. Letting it down. Gonna kind of trust that it's gonna go, and there it goes. So when it does decide to go, it is not bad. It's not a sudden jerk by any means. It just quickly builds that weight and lets it down. So they are very, very improved on the option in that regard. It's not jumpy cam at all, but it has that Elite feel. It has that Elite dwell with just a little bit stiffness up front. So once again, I'll draw, and once you shoot it once or twice, or draw it once or twice, and you get that muscle memory kicks in. You know when it's going to kick over, and it's just draws and holds really, really well. So once again, let it down. And it goes down. So this is this is a bow, a hunting bow that would be very, very easy to hold on game for a while if you need to do that. So I will now speak to the claims of efficiency and speed and quietness. Now the bow is very quiet. I would say it's slightly less or right on par with the Realm. It is about equal to the Realm X. Very, very, very close to the Tri-X, with it being just a sliver below the Tri-X. Right on about the same as the Realms, meaning quiet, very quiet bow. Definitely a step above what I've heard on the Hoyts, on any of the Hoyts, and a step above on the PSE for noise. Step better, I should say, not above. Vibration wise, very, very little vibration. Less vibration than the Realms for sure. In a whole nother league than the Hoyts and PSEs, and just a little bit below the Tri-X. A little there, whereas the Tri-X is very hard to feel any. But they're 1 and 2, and it's you're getting kind of to the point where you're splitting hairs there for vibration and noise. So good in both regards. Now, as for speed, I have tested 4 or 5 of these bows now, and I have yet to find one that hits its IBO. Now, they all, none of them are slow. I don't want to say that. So they all are useful. Most people will never notice on most big game, on the ranges you shoot. You're never going to notice that. But most have been coming in from anywhere from a low one I've shot was 328 feet per second, or 326 feet per second was the slowest I've shot. Most have been about that 329, 330 IBO, maybe 331 IBO, and a couple have even been in that 332 IBO speed, but none have hit 335. Bear strength, just like they tested, or close to how the equivalents of how they tested, calculated out IBO. Now this is a minor nitpick, whereas most of my other bows are 1 or 2 feet per second off IBO speed. When I've tested, this has been lower. Not that big of a deal at all, but it is lower. None of them I've seen have hit IBO speeds. Now they claim a very efficient bow. Usually your 2-track cam binary bows, which is what this Elite is, they are not as efficient. They are not as efficient as, say, a hybrid cam, which usually does really well as the weight goes up. Their efficiency goes up. That isn't always the case with binary cam bows, 2-track binary cam bows. And I think they've improved quite a bit on this 2-track binary and the way they do these cams. I still don't think, though, that as the weight of the arrow goes up, you're getting the same amount of speed or efficiency increase that you see in a hybrid or cam and a half. The trade-off is that you get quite a bit more let-off and a more friendly valley and hold and draw cycle usually on this bow for the speed as you do in a hybrid cam. Now, this can be seen a lot in Hoyts too. Hoyts is probably the king of the hybrid. When PSE, I was going to say something about PSE, but then I just remember that they kind of went to a different style cam this last year as well. And really, I haven't done a whole lot of testing on the efficiency of their cams, old versus new. But I'll say that to wrap up the speed part of this, to not ramble too much, the speed is not quite what I'd say they think it is. They're very optimistic in that speed, but it is very close, and 99.9% of everybody shooting it will not know or matter at all. So that's just kind of a nitpick thing. With the exception of that, this bow is a very, very solid offering from Elite. The quality, the craftsmanship, the overall appearance of this bow is top notch. I really enjoy this bow. and I think you can't go wrong choosing it. It is quite a solid offering from Elite this year. I'm curious to see how they'll go next year, how they'll expand on this, but I really think this is a great bow. The 6 and 7 inch or 6 and 3/4 inch brace height makes it a very forgiving bow by most today's standards, and it's just easy to shoot well. So there you go. Please post any comments or suggestions you have on my videos down below, and also please subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing here. I will continue to try to get better each and every time, but those subscriptions really help me kind of know if I'm doing what you guys want me to do, if I'm kind of doing the videos the way you want them to be done. So please subscribe if you want, and hit me up with those questions. As a quick exit note before I leave here, some of the things I'll be doing coming up, I really want to do a couple arrow reviews. There's some interesting technology coming out on arrows that I'd like to explore. As well as kind of a departure for me, I'm going to try very hard to get into a very lightweight backpacking backcountry type rifle, which I'm mostly a bow hunter. Those that know me though, I know I love ballistics. I love to shoot, even though I choose the bow most of the time when I hunt. But I'm going to go try to get into to a build or maybe a buy. I want to go too in depth in building, but my choice is on a lightweight backpacking backcountry rifle. So there you go. Please let me know what you think of these reviews. Hope you have a good spring turkey season, and have a safe